America is in trouble, and it is your opportunity to make a change during early election time or on the election day, November 8th. Let's start moving in the right direction. This is Dr. David D. Shine for Saving America, and thanks for joining us for this special episode talking about the importance of the new election cycle that we are almost to the end of. And I know many people may be very happy just to say, damn, it's over, let's move on. But it's very, very significant. As my audience knows, I wrote a book called The Decline of America, 100 Years of Leadership Failures. That book was released almost 5 years ago, and it talks about the decline in leadership at the top. We chronicle Wilson through Obama, and I'm currently working on a new book which would add chapters on Trump and Biden. And unfortunately, we continue in this abyss of leadership. And unfortunately, the two parties share equal responsibility for this, but I don't think that voting for communist-inspired and communist-backed Democrats is the right approach. I do predict that we will have a multi-party system in the future, that the two-party system is part of the failure in American leadership. But at the present time, what my concern is that some people who agree with me may vote for libertarian or other alternative candidates. And unfortunately, what that will do is cement in the Biden leadership situation by putting in more people who support him or reelecting people who support this loser clown in the White House. So I encourage people, unfortunately, again, I am not the world's biggest fan, but please support Republican candidates who hopefully will help to bring about some change and at least hold the last 2 years of the Biden administration to account for the horrible failures that we've witnessed since he took office. And in fact, even his first day in office, he signed a bunch of executive orders that have badly damaged America and set it on its current course. We faced a host of problems, and I think what we need to do is start by looking at the world problems. Yes, folks, for the first time in a number of years, we are concerned about nuclear destruction. And in fact, I saw a prediction recently that if we do engage in a worldwide nuclear war, 6.7 billion people could die. Folks, that's very significant. Tough leadership from Washington is about the only answer. We saw this as America won World War II, won the Cold War, and has since then, sadly, slogged lower and lower, but I think we can turn that around with the right leadership. Second, America faces serious challenges from China, Russia, and its other allies. Are we all ready to start speaking Chinese? I don't think so, but I think if we don't get our act together, that could become a very real possibility for us and for our children and our children's children. Not a good outcome. Obviously, we face crime, inflation, energy shortages, and what energy is available at high cost. We must also reach a national agreement on abortion. We cannot have a state-to-state solution as suggested by the Supreme Court. I'm opposed to abortion as a routine means of birth control, but indeed, the opponents of very strict abortion controls have brought out some very good points that there are women who have ectopic pregnancies. Sadly, my wife had an ectopic pregnancy when I was a very young man, and she was a very young woman, and had to go through surgery. It was a horrible experience. Fortunately, she was able to bear children. She had 3 children after that. But it's important to understand that we must have rational rules that we can all agree on. I do think that is something that we could all reach agreement on for the health of the mother and to provide some wiggle room, if you will. Again, not my preference, but what I think is needed to bring America together. We also, in order to continue world leadership, we must fix our public education system. Folks, 3-year-olds, third graders, fourth graders do not need to know about gender assignment and gender preference. They need to know the 3 R's. We have got to focus on key elements that are important to America and to the future of America. And especially since so many of our public school youngsters have been deprived of as much as 2 to 2.5 years of decent education. They are far, far behind. We not only need to focus on the 3 R's, we need to remediate what has been done over the last couple of years. So that's part of the focus that we need to do. So part of the reason we need to get this done right now is to get out there and vote. Here in Texas, the early voting starts October 24th. I personally have made a personal decision to go in person to the local voting precinct and to cast my ballot prior to November 8th. I don't like running in the crowds. I find it's less crowded, it's more efficient. People say, no, vote on election day. But I do feel that voting at an election place anytime between October 24th and I believe it's November 4th is as secure a vote as it will be on November 8th. I do not favor mail-in ballots, and they are indeed a source of trouble. So I hope you'll join me by either voting in advance or voting on November 8th. This is Dr. David D. Shine for Saving America. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on your favorite platform.